All right, guys. Hi, welcome to Advanced Python Week 6. As I mentioned from last earlier, last week we were doing modules and user input. This week we're going to continue with user input. So yeah, I think someone just asked a question: do we create a new REPL or the same from last week? Today we'll mostly be using a new one. I'll just share my screen. Yeah, so last thing we were doing was user input and how to use the input function. Yeah, so just you guys log into REPL again, replit.com again, so you can follow what I'm doing. I'll just share this in chat. Yeah, so click on login if you haven't already. And last time we were doing, I'll just remind you guys of what you were doing last time by opening up the week 5 one. So last thing we were doing was learning about how to use inputs. So basically, you can assign a variable like the output of like input. So here, basically what we get is input will ask the question, what is your name? It's like an ask block in Scratch, basically. And then answer will be whatever answer you give it in the console over here. And then just prints out hello and whatever you put. I'll just demonstrate that again so you guys remember. All right, Vanessa, it'll say hello, Vanessa. So yeah, that's basically how input works. You can tell it to ask you any question and you give a response in the console on the right here. Yeah, so that's just a reminder of what the input looks like. I think someone has a question. Whoever has the account name Monique.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Over the week, I've been making a code. Can I share my screen?
What have you been making?
It's kind of like a quiz using the inputs and the modules.
Okay. Yeah, maybe you can, yeah, I guess you can share it for a couple minutes right now then. Sure. 1 second. We're actually about to go through like how to use these input to make a quiz, but yeah, okay. Try sharing your screen now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So you have made like a whole geography quiz about world geography.
And then I'm also going to be creating a guess my number game, and I was going to ask if what module I do, because I was typing import standard, but I realized that it's meant to be from random import standard. So yeah.
Yeah, the module name is called random. So if you want to read, yeah, you can just use import random or from random import randint or something like that. Well, anyway, I'm going to be using randint in the lesson I'm going to be giving in a second. So I'll just, yeah, so you should know how to make your number guessing game after we go through this lesson. But yeah, yeah, thank you.
I stop the share now?
I will. All right. Yeah. Thanks for showing that. It's very cool. Let's share my screen again. Cool. Okay. So I will just make a new REPL. Create Python. Let's call it X class And yeah, I'm going to be making like a little small text adventure thing. So, oops. First I'm going to write is I'm going to make a little text adventure where like the person can choose whether to go like left or right or choose to do some things. So I'm going to write print. You are in a dark cave and there are 2 tunnels ahead of you. Either left or right. Let me just print that to see if it runs as I expect. And if I want to ask this as a question, like this one as a question, I need to use I need to use input. So what do? Instead of print here, I would use input because it's the question I want to ask. And I need to assign the answer to a variable. Okay, so obviously you want to do something with this answer. You want to have the story actually change depending on whether they go left or right. So you need to do something with that answer. For that, you need an if statement. And just in case someone like writes left or right in like a weird case, like they left their caps lock on and write left or something, you just want to make sure that you convert the answer to lowercase. So what I do is like use answer equals, so make answer equal to whatever the answer is dot lower. This will convert whatever their answer is to lowercase. And we have an if statement. So if answer, and remember in if statements, check is equal to is double equals. So it's like that. If answer equals left, basically print like a description of what was in the left tunnel. So I'll just leave this here. Elif answer double equals right. To put something else. Of course, the user can also put something here that is not left or right because they can type anything they like. So you want a condition where you say something to the you say something to the user if they give an answer that like is not valid. That's right. Please choose left or right. You may know a second. You can, if you use like double quotes to like surround your strings, you can use single quotes inside them. If you use single quotes outside, you need to, yeah, you can't use single quotes inside as well. But this works. So I'll just run this and make sure it does what I expect. But one other thing is that like you may notice that like when you start typing on the console, like basically the cursor here is immediately to the right of like wherever your question was, which looks a little bit ugly. So I might add some more space, or even like if you want to add a new line actually. So if you want to add a space, you just add a space like this. If you want to add a new line, there's like a special character which means new line, where it's like \n. That means new line. So I'll show you what happens if you add a new line here. And that is your answer will actually start on the next line, like this. Yeah, you want your, so if you want your formatting to be have more space or a new line, you can just add that. Anyway, so you can see if I say left, it prints that, and then it stops. If I say right, it prints nothing and then stops. If I type in some garbage that isn't left or right, it will say this. If I say left in all capitals, it prints nothing and stops. So it does what I expect. All right, everyone following so far? No questions yet? Okay, good. Actually, wait, do you still have a question, David?
I don't have a question. I accidentally left it on.
Okay, cool. All right, so I was going to demonstrate actually, there's a way you can actually ask a question repeatedly until the user gives you one of the answers you're looking for. So for this one, you can actually use a while loop. That's if you want it, because otherwise, whenever the user like types in a wrong answer, you can't actually ask the question again. So what you can do is you can actually put everything in a while loop. So you can say while answer does not equal left and answer is not equal right. So it's not either left or right. But remember, to do this, to put everything in this loop, you need to indent it, everything 2 spaces to the right. For this, I use the tab key. So if I just press tab, this will throw the right number of indents to the right. If for some reason you can't use tab, you're going to have to like put 2 spaces in front of everything, but tab should work. If you want to outdent something, like make it go back the other way, you can use shift tab, like hold shift and then press tab. So this is indent and this is outdent. So tab and shift tab. I think someone just asked me, how do you do a new line? A new line is like a backslash and n inside a string like this. So it's like a backwards facing slash. It's like the one above the enter key. Anyway, now that this is inside the while loop, so basically as long as, actually for this one, I'm going to need to put these bits inside here as well, because if I want it to repeatedly also ask the question, this needs to be in here too. So I'll just put this here. So this is one of the spaces, but this should work. And you may see here, it has a red underline, which means undefined name answer. It doesn't know what answer is because now that I put this underneath, it doesn't know what answer is anymore. So I'll just assign this to nothing to start with. So I'll just say answer is like an empty string. That will work. Because then in the first condition, it's like, well, answer is an empty string. It's not left or right. So it's going to do this first. And then, yeah. And then it will repeatedly ask the question until answer is either left or right. Via just asked, how do you make the script run? You do that by clicking the big green run button at the top. You can also use like Control plus Enter. Yeah, sure. I think someone said they need some more time to sort of copy this down. Yeah, sure. Just take your time. Okay, ask some questions. All right, David, do you still have a question? Yep.
For some reason, when I always do the indents, it doesn't work.
Doesn't work. So do you like highlight it with like a mouse and then press tab?
How? What? Oh, you
like this.
do that?
Yeah, because like I'm indenting and unendenting like the entire block like this.
Oh, no, I mean that I can indent, but the triangles. It says unexpected indent when it's meant to be related to a line of code. I don't.
Are you still getting errors with unexpected indent?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have the correct number of indents? Just like if you want to see whether your stuff is indented correctly, just look at the position of the colons. So you need everything under the while loop indented, everything that's under one of these if blocks to be indented, and everything and the one under the else to also be indented. If that makes sense.
Yeah. But when I do the indent, the triangle doesn't show up behind the number.
Oh, okay. I don't know how you. I think that's an editor option that you get by default. Yeah, I don't know what my. Let me try and see if I can get it to not show up. While true. It seems like even if I. That seems to always show up actually. Maybe it's in one of your editor options.
It's an edited thing.
Yeah, it's definitely an editor thing. It's not a code problem. I think there are editor settings here. There's indent type, spaces versus tabs. I don't think there's any option to get rid of like these triangles. So I'm not
How do you
sure
have
what's going on. It just happens every time you have like an if statement or like a while loop, basically. I don't see any option to get rid of them here, so I don't know why you don't have them. Well, anyway, they're not really important. They're basically just used to hide everything you have under a certain like block. So you can hide everything under a while loop. You can hide everything under the if.
Maybe it'll work now.
Does your code work?
I just found this. Maybe it'll work. Oh no. I know how to do an indent, and the indents are working. But when I do an indent, it's not work. The triangle that shows up behind the number, which shows that it's related to a code before, isn't working.
Okay, that's strange. I guess you can try refreshing your page. Well, make sure you save and then like refresh your page and see if like the triangles come up. But it's not really very important that you have these triangles here, though. It's just like an option to hide stuff. You don't really need that anyway.
Yeah, but when I do the two dots, it says invalid syntax, and then when I do the coding, they're not related. The computer thinks they're not related, so it doesn't work.
Okay, I guess I can look at your screen for a second to see if you've made any obvious mistakes. Okay, maybe try showing your screen now.
Okay.
So you wanted to get like an indent thing on. Okay. Basically you have them spread over multiple lines. Like you need everything from lines 8 to 10 to be on the same line.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. Just backspace from 9.
Backspace from 9.
I mean, 8 and 9 should be the same line. So while answer does not equal left and answer does not equal right. And answer does not equal right. So A and D. Yeah, that's the right format now. The triangle appears. So basically, I think, yeah, that should work now. Yeah, but don't forget, you need the, line 8 should be like answer does not equal left and answer does not equal right. But yeah, you have the right syntax for your while loop now. Basically, the triangle didn't come up because you didn't have like a valid while statement because you had it split over 2 lines before you hit the colon. So everything, when you have like a while loop statement, everything has to be on the same line before the colon.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, back to my screen. I think some other people have some questions as well. Hi, Eden.
I accidentally deleted all of everything I did. Is there a way you can get it back?
If you deleted, did you actually delete your file or just like the content, like the text?
Just the content.
I don't think it really saves like old versions of your work. Actually, let me see what happens if I check REPL history here. Oh, this only really works if you commit your changes. Yeah, if it has already saved your changes, I don't think you can really get them back at the moment. But if it hasn't saved yet, you can try just reloading this file. Yeah, I don't know what else you
How do I
can do.
reload the file?
Oh, basically, the same reason. Yeah. So, your list of REPLs should be like somewhere here. Like just go back to your profile and try selecting your REPL again, basically.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. Good news is we got a bunch of signatures gone cancel Halloween. Great! My house and all my worldly possessions are a small price to pay.
Yeah, just try that.
Let's go.
Didn't work.
Yeah, okay. You might need to just write it again then.
See? So much better.
Okay.
All I have to do is oil the hinges.
Okay. Hi, Alex.
Oh wait, so when I did the while answer, like exclamation mark equals left and answer exclamation mark equals right, it just says that it has an invalid syntax.
Okay, yeah, invalid syntax means you wrote something wrong. Does it look exactly like this? Did you have quotes around left and quotes around right? Do you have like a colon over here?
Yes.
Was your previous line okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I can have a look at your screen for a bit. I'll just stop sharing mine. All right, try sharing your screen now, Alex.
Okay. So right now it just is.
Okay, I think you have a space between your first exclamation mark and the equal sign. So just like add them together, like just, yeah, you need them to be together, no space between them. Yeah. So exclamation mark equals means not equals. It's like, yeah, it's like, it's supposed to be like one thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the not equals operator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Right, yeah, just a reminder, these two symbols together, they need no spaces, and this is called the not equals operator. So if I read this aloud, it means while answer is not equal to left and answer is not equal to right. If you remember, it's basically the opposite of like the equal sign, which is like check if answer is equal to. This is like check if answer is not equal to. I think someone also mentioned about like getting your work back. You can like, you can actually use Control Z sometimes because it has an undo function. So if you've just messed something up, I think, by myself actually, if I do this and if I press Control Z, it will like just undo what I just did. So if you, that can save you if you've just deleted something. I think Ryan just asked, why do we use line 3? Basically, if I delete this line or I comment it out, in the while statement, like it complains about an undefined name because I've basically asked it to check a variable that doesn't exist yet. Because if I keep this here, answer only exists after I use the input thing down here. And so I need it to be equal to something before I start checking it, basically. All right, cool. So I'll show you how this while loop works. So basically, if I keep giving it a wrong answer, it will just keep asking me the question until I give it like an answer that's actually valid. So that's how that like input loop works. So input loops are useful if you need to like sort of keep checking to see if like the user gave the right answer, and just you can just repeatedly ask the question until they do. Okay, Alex, do you still have any problems?
No, I just forgot to like put my hand down.
Okay, that's cool. Right. Yeah, so basically that's how you do an input loop. So now I need to actually have stuff happen when when the user chooses left or right. So I'm gonna write walk through the tunnel. Oh, by the way, if you like write too much on one line, it can actually look quite messy. So if you want a new line, you can either use \n, or you can actually like just use multiple print statements. All right, so you walk through the tunnel and you come across a big green blob monster. It sees you. So I'm just setting up like a battle encounter here, basically. All right, so I'm gonna make it so that like when you fight this big green blob monster, it basically rolls a dice to see how much damage you do. So for this, I'll just run this to make sure it does what I expect it to do. So if I choose the left, I come across the big green blob monster. So now I need to actually make a dice. So if you remember from last lesson, the good old random module. I think more people have questions. Okay. Hi, Carlos.
So there's this problem with me. Oh, like with my report. So when I press run, it just spams it. Well, please choose left or right.
Oh, it only spams please choose left or right. It may be something to do with the while loop. So if you notice like while loops, if you never give it the right answer, it will always keep printing stuff out. Do you have input like here under your while loop? Because it should ask you a question at some point. And when you use input, it will stop to ask you the question. So it shouldn't just keep printing and printing and printing.
Oh wait, nothing. I figured it out now.
Oh, okay, that's good. But yeah, if it was what I was saying, yeah, you need like the input block to be in here so it can actually stop to ask you the question. Otherwise, yeah, if you had nothing but prints in here, it would just infinitely print stuff. So this is kind of not good. All right. Okay. Hi, Dylan.
I've typed everything in, but when I answer it, it won't continue going.
Okay. Did you like did you hit, so after you typed in the answer, did you, when you type in the answer, after you type it, do you hit enter?
I just type it and it doesn't do anything.
So do you type in the word and then hit the enter key afterwards?
I've hit enter and that doesn't even work.
Oh, okay. And you're typing in the console area here, right, on the right side?
Yeah,
Are you doing it in console or shell?
console.
Console. Okay. That's right.
It just comes up as a space.
Okay. Do you have all this if statement after this
Yeah,
to print stuff?
I've got the if statement.
Okay, I'll have
You
a look.
typing in right or left?
I typed in both and neither of them work.
Okay, I'll have a look at your code. Yeah, try sharing your screen like now, Dylan. All right, so yeah, so click on the console. Like click on it, yeah, until the cursor should be white, yeah. Yeah, and now click and like just press enter.
Now it's working.
Yeah, it works. Did you click on the console before?
Yes, and I hit enter.
That's strange. Okay. Tell me if you have any more problems, but yeah, make sure like the cursor on the console is like white. So, well, which it is. So, okay, just tell me if you have any more problems later. It looks like it's working.
Okay.
Okay, I think someone else just had the problem with the infinite spamming of please choose left or right. That's usually because you didn't put like the input thing here. So obviously, if you have like a while loop and the answer is never left or right and you never even ask the question, then it will just keep printing this over and over. So make sure you have this line. Okay. Hi, Joe.
For mine in the console, it says file main.py line 4 while answer exclamation marks equal left and answer exclamation marks equals right, and then it just says in syntax error.
Okay, did you write this correctly? Like exactly as I wrote line 5 here? Like no,
While answer.
you have no
Let me
spaces.
check.
Yeah, just check that's the same.
Is that space? Yeah, that's space. And
No space between this and this. These words should be quoted.
yeah, I
Don't misspell anything.
wrote it like yours.
Okay. All right. I can have a quick look at what you just did. All right. I'm sharing a screen now, Jerry. Okay. Invalid syntax. Can you widen like your or
Wait,
like zoom
one
out of
second.
it? Yeah, because I can't see. Oh, you quoted everything. So in line 4, it's not like while and like you only quote the word left and you only quote the word right. So yeah, add your like the end quote to left.
Like this?
Yeah, like that.
Should
Yeah, that is correct now. Now delete line 5 because that's like a copy of line 4, except
Oh.
wrong. Yeah, just
Sorry.
delete that one. And then make sure you do your indented blocks correctly. So like I did before, just like highlight everything that you want to be under the while statement and then press tab to indent it all.
here?
Yeah, press tab. Yep. Yep. And everything under the, and you need to fix your if statements as well with the indents. No, unindent by 1. Oh no, press Control Z to undo that. Just press Control plus Z. Yep, there you go. Unindent everything by 1. So press Shift and Tab to unindent by 1. Shift plus Tab. Undo that again. Yep.
How can I shift plus 1? So,
yep, Shift and Tab at the same time.
oh, shift tab. Like
Yep,
that?
like that. Yep, cool. So unhighlight that. So if you click anywhere. Yep, and now you just need to indent your if statements. So the print state on line 8, your print should be like, well, all your print statements should be under like the if answer equals left. So you need to indent them all by 1. So highlight all your prints like from line 8 to 12.
Here?
Yep, press tab.
Tab.
Yep, and yeah, that's right. Okay, and it will complain about line 13 because you don't have anything under the elif. So just put anything like go to line 13 in the colon and then press enter.
Yeah.
Press enter and then type print something. Just have it print blank or whatever. Just like you have on line 12.
That.
No, brackets and then like quotes. Like you have on line 12, exactly. Like, yep, that should work. Try it. Oh,
Well, this
yeah.
time,
Just stop that. Yeah, seems like a lot of people have this problem. Click the stop button. You know the stop button. That's where run was. Yep, that should stop it. So basically, what you did on line 5, you didn't put inputs. So you have answer equals bracket, but you didn't put input. So just write input before the brackets.
Import.
Input, not import. Input. PUT. Yep. Try now. You can also clear your console if it's like unclear what it's doing. Yeah, click clear and then stop, then run, go. Yep. See, it's not spamming anymore. It looks correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
Welcome. Cool. So we'll just make sure like you actually have this input line here, otherwise can spam forever. And make sure your indent levels are correct. So everything under the while is indented by, 1 or 2 spaces, and everything under your if statements also needs to be indented as well. Indent means like everything here is like 2 spaces in. Hi, everyone. Do you have a question? No? Yeah.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
After I do left,
Also,
it comes up with trace back, most recent call last, file student, line 1 model, name error, left is not defined.
Oh, if it says left is not defined, it thinks left is a variable. So make sure you have like quotes around left.
Oh.
Yeah, you want it to treat left like a string, not like a variable. So anything that is like is a word that doesn't have quotes around it, like Python will just assume it's a variable.
Also, I put it around the left thing that I typed in.
Oh, no, you don't need to do it in the console. Just make sure it's like it has quotes here, like in the code.
Oh.
Yeah, the code part.
Yeah, that's the thing I do.
Do you have anywhere that you have the word left but not quoted?
The word left that's not quoted.
Yeah, do you like have a random instance of like something like this? Like, do you have a red underline under anything that says you have an undefined name left?
No.
Okay. But the error message is telling you that like you have a name error for the word left.
Okay.
Like, is it?
What'd you say?
So did you say your error message is telling you that you have the word left undefined?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I can have a look at your code really briefly. All right, try sharing your screen.
So I just, oh, there. Can try. Is it on? I'm not sure.
No, it's not on right now.
Oh,
There's someone else is trying to share.
oh no.
It's the big share screen green button. Oh,
Screen.
share
He's
screen.
he's using two different devices, so he
Oh,
can't-
okay, so I guess he can't. Yeah, if you're still getting the name error for left, just make sure you don't have any like words like left that are unquoted, because I'm guessing that's probably the most likely thing you've done wrong. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, just like you can always watch this lecture later if you want to take a look at the code. Yeah. Anyway, I think I better move on now. Good luck. Okay. Right. So the last thing I wanted to do with this one is to add to use the add like a dice. So so I'm going to actually just copy and paste something from one of my other rebels. I think it's week 5 class. So I'm gonna look at the dice function. So if you can open up your week 5 one and then basically just copy the stuff from dice.py and then stick it at highlight this, copy and paste it at the top of this. So we have our roll dice function already. So returns a number between 1 and 6. So now we can actually use this down here when we roll the dice. So say damage equals, then I'll say roll d6. And it will give us a random number between 1 and 6. And then we're going to have a condition. So we're going to say if damage is less than is actually more than 2, then we kill the monster. Right, yay, you kill the monster. Also, if your damage wasn't more than 2, print. Oh no, you didn't do enough damage, you died. So yeah, as you can see, yeah, so basically if we roll a 3, 4, or 5 and 6, you kill the monster. If you roll a 1 or 2, you die. Also, I'll just have one line to actually print how much damage you do. And do %s damage. Just remember, this is a string replacement, so %s here will be replaced with the damage value. So I'll just show you how this works. Say left. So after I chose to go left, it rolled the dice for me. And it says I did 4 damage, and this time I killed the monster. I wonder how many times I'll have to do this before I die. There we go, I did 1 damage, didn't do enough damage, and died. So yeah, the bit I just added was I copied this function from last week's REPL. And I used it down here to roll a dice. So damage equals whatever the dice roll was. And then I just use this if statement to compare the damage to I guess the health of the monster, which I made 2. And then print appropriate stuff. If you can't find the week 5 REPL, you can always just rewrite it. It's a very short function. All you need is like this input, like from random import randint, and then like these 2 lines. That's it. You don't need to find it again. You just write it. It's very short. Cool. Yeah, this should be useful to you guys who are like making like a number guessing thing. Because if you want to make a random number for people to guess, you just use randint and it will return you a random number between, well, whatever you choose. And remember, when you're comparing numbers, you can use greater than or less than. So obviously this is the greater than sign, this is the less than sign, this is the exactly equal to sign, this is the not equal to sign. And these are our main things. These are also, you also have greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. So there's all the like Python comparison operators that you can use to like compare like a variable with a number. I'll just get rid of this because it's bad syntax. Oh, and the last thing I'm going to do actually is print something for if the user takes the right tunnel. So I'm going to say, I want to make this adventure short since we don't have much time. So I'm just going to say, if you went right instead of left, you just go to the outside world. Yeah. So remember, guys, if you, when you write new if statements, like every like thing under your new if statement also needs to be indented. So indented means like the 2 spaces in. So we need this to be indented and everything, this bit to be indented as well. So if you need to like, and remember, if you can choose to indent or unindent whole blocks by like highlighting them and pressing either tab or shift tab. All right, we only got about 10 minutes left, and this is all I have on on user input. So yeah, I'll just answer some questions. Hi, Adam.
Hi. When I tried running it, it says there's an invalid syntax on line 10, but I've tried everything and I don't know why it says that.
Okay. All right, I can take a look at your line 10. Does it like do any red underlines?
No.
Okay. All right. Cool. Try sharing your screen now. Oh, you've got the colon at the end.
Here.
Yeah, you see it has a red arrow. It's because you forgot the colon.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Cool. Ravon?
It says file main py line 1 print you are in a dark cave indentation error and unexpected indent.
Okay, did you check all your indents? So if you remember how your indent is supposed to be, everything under while needs to be indented. So indented by 1 means 2 spaces in. Everything under an if statement needs to be indented. Everything under an else needs to be indented. So did you check all your indents are at the right level?
It still isn't working.
Can you see, like, did you check all your indents? Like, are they the right amount indented in? Do you have like an indent of like one indent level for everything under your while and one indent level for everything under your if?
Yes.
Okay, I'll have a look at your screen for a second. All right, try sharing now. Error unexpected indent. Oh, okay. That means you have an indent where it didn't expect an indent. So line 1, you actually indented your print statement. So see that red underline? Yeah. So just like unindent that. That should work. It also doesn't like that line 3 is now indented as well, and line 6 as well. Yeah, looks like you have a lot of messed up indents. And don't forget to unindent everything from line 8 on. You know how like you have the red underline on line 8 because like that now has a space. Just get rid of, yeah, you want to get rid of the space on line 8, basically. Yeah, indent levels are still a bit awkward. Maybe highlight everything under the while, like from line 9 till the end, and just like press like shift tab.
There's error.
Shift tab one more time, and then yep, and then just press tab once. Like highlight it again and press tab once. Yeah, you also need to redo the stuff on the if statement. So like you can't have a blank print, so get rid of line 13. Yep, and remember, okay, so now you need everything under your if statements to have the right indent levels. So just like highlight everything, highlight everything under that if, and then not all of that, no. Like, remember, your if and elif remain at the same level, but everything underneath them that is part of them needs to be indented by 1. So just like highlight the 3 print statements and the damage equals line. So lines 11 to 14 and press tab once. Yep, and press tab on line 16 as well before the print. Yep, that one. Press tab. And then line 18, press like go to line 18 and press tab. Yep, that should work, I think. Try it. I think now your only problem is you're going to have a different error, but I think it's because of line 14. Remember, whenever you see like a red underline on your code, it means you've done something wrong there. But, yeah. So if you said left, you'd get an error because roll d6 doesn't exist because you haven't imported it, basically. Yeah. So you can use from dice import roll d6 at the top of your main.py. Like just go to the top of the file. Like before line 1, you want it to be your new line 1. You can just put your cursor like this. Yeah, that will also work. Okay, just like, yep, and paste that again. Yep, and then put from dice import roll d6. Yep. Don't use .py. You don't use file extension names when you import stuff. Yep. Import. Right. Yep. That one. Yep. Import, and then the name of your function, which is roll d6. Don't use the brackets. Yeah, that should work. Yep, now try going left. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, now you just need the bit where you actually use the damage. So you need like the other if statement that actually compares the damage like to like a number, and then you should all be good. Cool. Hi, Vanch.
Hi, so I'm getting a problem with mine where I can't roll it and then find out what it gave out.
Did you print out what it gave out? So to check, so on line 18, I have roll it. And then I also have a line that prints the damage as well, which is this one. So you just need to add a print statement to tell you how much damage it was.
Oh, okay. So do I just type in the line 21 and 20?
Which one?
Print on my computer, line 20 and 21.
Yeah, you need this. Yeah, this is like the if statement that like compares the like what damage and like tells you the outcome. But like I also have line 19 to tell me what the number was as well. If you're curious about what number you rolled.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay. Hi, Jono.
So can I just show my screen?
Sure. We have about a minute left, but yeah, okay. All right, try sharing now.
Okay. So for my rep, it says line 15. I haven't defined it. I'm pretty sure.
Stop.
Okay. You have like your indents at the wrong level. So everything, all these if statements are like part of your while block, so they should all be indented by indented as well by one.
Where?
Yeah.
The print statements.
The if, no, like line 11 and line 16, like every if needs to also be indented because they were all part of your while. Like this whole thing is part of your while.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you need to double check like what's indented on it, you can always watch the lecture. I think we're running out of time here.
And apart from that, I'm pretty sure that I can't import
you can't import it because it's not in another file. Because in the other project you have it inside dice.py, and this one it's just here. So yeah, just use it like that. That's fine.
So would it work like this?
It will, as long as you fix your indents.
Okay.
Yeah, just watch a lecture recording and fix up all your indents, and you should be good.
All right.
Yeah. All right, cool. I think we're out of time now, so hope you guys enjoyed the lesson and the little text adventure you made. Yeah, if you have any trouble with copying the code exactly, just watch the lecture recording, which will be sent to you guys later. And yeah, hope you guys had fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye.